Well, it's been a little bit since we've had any X-Men casting rumors, but this one might be telltale. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about the most recent rumor involving a casting of Jean Grey, who the rumored actress will be taking up the role, and why this definitely gives us some clues on what this X-Men team is going to look like. Well, as many of you know, Marvel Studios is finally developing their own X-Men reboot. Marvel reacquired the rights when Disney bought 20th Century Fox several years ago, and although we've had quite a few mutant characters appear, especially in Deadpool and Wolverine, we have yet to get a stand-up X-Men film. We did get X-Men 97, and that was absolutely spectacular, and as a continuation of the original series, I have no complaints. But at this point, fans are eager for these live-action X-Men to come to life. Now, in recent months though, we finally got a little bit of progress. We do know Marvel is currently and actively working on the project. They're working on a script, and they've tapped Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier to pick up the mantle and lead the new X-Men movie. Now, since then, we've gotten, well, very few new details. Marvel actually doesn't have a release date for this upcoming X-Men movie, and for many of us, it's pretty clear this is going to come after Secret Wars, which means sometime in 2027 or 2028. Suggesting the film actually doesn't need to go into production for probably about a year. Now this means we're entering the casting phase, and that's where this report takes off. Now on this week's episode of the Hot Mic podcast, Jeff Snyder chimed in a little bit about who could take up the role of Jean Grey. Now, Snyder doesn't work for Marvel Studios, but he does have a moderately good track record, so even though we take what he says with a grain of salt, it is definitely worth paying attention to. Now, what he said is that Ella Fanning is definitely in the mix to play one of the MCU's most powerful mutants, aka Jean Grey. Now, this character has been portrayed twice before in live action, once by Famke Janssen, and then again by Sophie Turner. So she definitely has some pretty big shoes to fill if she does take up the role. Now, Fanning's been in a lot of stuff. Her more recent projects are A Complete Unknown, All the Bright Places, and Hulu's The Great. And she also has a dual role in Predator Badlands. So she has a great acting resume. Now honestly, I could see Fanning playing the role. Obviously, we have to make the hair red to give her the classic Jean Grey look, but beyond that, I could definitely see her playing the mutant. Now to me, what is the more curious thing is her age. Fanning is 27 years old, and if Marvel Studios is looking at casting one of the primary X-Men in that age range, well, it gives us a great idea of what some of the other team members will come in at. Honestly, I expect most of the X-Men team that will be cast for this new franchise to fall between, say, 26 and 32. The multiverse saga lasted 10 years, and I think Marvel is looking to repeat that with the mutant saga. That means they need a set of actors and actresses they can lock in for that big window and can continue to play the characters. By picking up actors and actresses in their late 20s or early 30s, well honestly, that is the perfect window. All these actors will continue to look basically the same through this part of their career, so age won't be an issue. And at the end of that, if they want to continue to play those characters, well, they're still within a window where they might want to keep playing the character. Now this falls in line with some of the other actors and actresses we've heard rumored for this project. Harris Dickerson, Margaret Qualley, and Julia Butters are all rumored to play Cyclops, Rogue, and Kitty Pryde. And once again, they all fall into that 26 to 32-year-old age window. But none, including today's rumor, have been confirmed from Kevin Feige or anybody involved in their project as of today. Now, I think the X-Men are one of Marvel's most important upcoming franchises, and I'm going to say this because I've said it before. Do not underestimate the power of the X-Men. Even with all these new faces coming into the franchise, well, we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine how powerful it is and how much fan nostalgia exists. The X-Men movies were big before the MCU, and they were sort of the staple of Marvel comic book movies before the MCU came on the scene, and many fans remember those days fondly. Yes, the MCU kind of blew up huge, but people never forgot those X-Men movies, and many of them are some of the best superhero movies ever made. I can watch Days of Future Past almost any day of the week. Now, obviously, we need to keep a really close eye on what's going on with the upcoming X-Men films. I do think Ella would make a great Jean Grey, but at this point, I'm going to temper my excitement until we get some official confirmation. When that actually happens, we're going to have to wait and see. Before we take off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC news, and we want to bring you all the news truthfully and transparently so you're really in the know.